Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about hazards in food production chain. As we know, hazard identification is one of steps in risk assessment. Before we learn the whole process of risk assessment, let's familiar with the term hazard. What is hazard, and how does it involve in food production? A food safety hazard is any agent that has the potential to harm consumers' health. Food safety hazards occur when food is exposed to hazardous agents, resulting in food contamination. There are three major hazards that can enter the food supply at any point during the harvesting, processing, packaging, transportation, storage, preparation, and serving processes. Biological, chemical, physical hazards. Biological hazard. Biological hazards occur when pathogenic or hazardous organisms are introduced into food, posing a risk to consumer safety. Biological hazards include pathogenic bacteria, viruses, and parasites. They can enter food either directly or indirectly through poor sanitation and cross-contamination, during transportation, handling, processing, and storage. Bacteria are single-celled microorganisms that live in a variety of habitats and can be either free-living, for example, in soil, air, or water, or symbiotic, for example, in intestinal tract or mucous membranes of animals and humans. The principal bacteria associated with foodborne illnesses include Bacillus cereus, Campylobacter jejuni, Clostridium botulinum, Clostridium perfringens, Escherichia coli O157H7, Listeria monocytogenes, Salmonella species, Staphylococcus aureus, Vibrio cholerae, and so on. A foodborne illness caused by an infection can manifest over a period of days or weeks, making it frequently difficult to identify the causative agent. On the other hand, intoxication-related illness frequently manifests itself within hours of consuming the suspect food. Toxins produced by the microorganism cause intoxication, either in the food itself or after ingestion. Viruses are one of the most dangerous biological agents. Active viruses are composed of distinct segments of DNA or RNA encased in a thin protein coat and are incapable of existing independently of their living hosts. Viruses that are frequently associated with food safety concerns include hepatitis A virus, norovirus, Norwalk virus, and rotavirus. Viruses are typically introduced into food through infected individuals' poor handling practices, for example, poor personal hygiene practices, or through contaminated food ingredients such as water. Parasites. A parasite is any organism that relies on its host organism for nourishment in order to grow and reproduce. Parasites commonly associated with foodborne illnesses include Cryptosporidium parvum, Giardia duodenalis or intestinalis, Taenia species, Toxoplasma gondii, Trichinella spiralis, and so on. Chemical hazard. Chemical hazards occur when chemicals are presented in foods in concentrations that are potentially harmful to humans. Contamination can occur in a variety of ways: the environment, air, soil, water, intentional use of chemicals, such as pesticides and veterinary drugs, manufacturing processes, and addition of food additives. Mycotoxins are naturally occurring toxins produced by fungi that are potentially toxic to humans and animals. They are formed when molds colonize crops and foods in specific conditions. Although there are numerous mycotoxins in the environment, only a few are found in foods and are typically associated with specific field crops such as corn. Aflatoxin, deoxynivalenol, ochratoxin, fumonisin, and patulin are the most common mycotoxins that cause health problems in humans. Even at low concentrations, mycotoxins can have serious long-term effects. They have the potential to cause toxic damage to human and animal cells, as well as chronic effects such as various types of cancer, immunosuppression, growth retardation, birth defects, and renal dysfunction. Natural toxins. Natural toxins are biochemical compounds that plants produce in response to specific environmental conditions or stressors. Glycoalkaloids are a type of natural toxin found in potatoes. These toxins are produced in response to environmental stresses such as UV light and damage, such as bruising, and cannot be destroyed through cooking. Toxin concentrations are highest in the peel and sprout of potatoes, which exhibit a distinctive green color. Marine toxins are a class of toxins that can build up in fish and shellfish. Marine toxins originate from two sources: decomposition and microscopic marine algae, such as phytoplankton, including diatoms and dinoflagellates. In scombroid fish, such as tuna, bonito and mackerel, when decomposition occurs, histamine is formed. Histidine, a naturally occurring amino acid, is converted to histamine during decomposition by an enzyme produced by certain bacteria. When consumed in large doses, histamine can cause severe reactions similar to those associated with allergic reactions, including rash, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, dizziness, burning throat, stomach pain, and itchy skin. Moreover, numerous marine toxins are produced by certain types of algae and can accumulate in fish and shellfish that consume them. Environmental contaminants are chemicals that enter the environment inadvertently or deliberately, frequently but not always as a result of human activity. Certain contaminants may have been manufactured for industrial use and, due to their high stability, do not degrade readily. If these contaminants are released into the environment, they may enter the food chain. Other environmental contaminants are naturally occurring chemicals, but industrial activity may increase their mobility or availability for circulation in the environment, allowing them to enter the food chain at higher concentrations than would occur otherwise. Examples of environmental contaminants, such as arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. Pesticides or agricultural products. A pesticide is any substance or organism, including those derived through biotechnology, that is used to prevent, control, destroy, repel, or attract a pest or to mitigate the pest's effects. Pesticides pose a significant issue because they can accumulate in the food chain and contaminate the environment. Dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, or DDT, is a well-known example. DDT, which is believed to be carcinogenic to humans, persists in the environment to this day. Veterinary drugs. Veterinary drugs are frequently used to treat and/or prevent illness in food-producing animals. If these drugs are used improperly or the withdrawal period prior to slaughter is not followed, residues from these drugs may be found in food. These residues may be the active ingredient in the drug or metabolites produced as the drug is digested by the animal and may be considered harmful to the consumer. Processing-induced chemicals. Natural components in food can cause undesirable chemical reactions during processing, which can lead to new chemicals being formed. When foods are heated, reactions occur, leading to the desired flavor, appearance, and texture of the food. However, reactions such as these can produce undesired compounds. Likely catalytic compounds can be produced under specific storage or processing conditions. The presence of processing-induced chemicals in food cannot always be avoided. Examples of processing-induced chemicals include acrylamide, ethyl carbamate, and furan. Food additives. Food additives are substances added to food to preserve its nutritional value, improve its shelf life, and make it more appealing, as well as to aid in its processing, packaging, and storage. Food additives include natural and synthetic food colors, pH-adjusting agents, preservatives, bleaching agents, and food enzymes. Physical or extraneous material hazards. Extraneous material refers to all substances, other than bacteria and their byproducts, toxins, viruses, and parasites, that may be present in a food but are not native to that food. While these materials are typically non-toxic, they are linked to unsanitary food production, processing, handling, storage, and distribution. Insects, hair, metal fragments, pieces of plastic, wood chips, and glass are all examples of foreign materials that may be found in food production. Unavoidable foreign matter may occur in food as a byproduct of the processing system or as an inherent characteristic of the product. Unavoidable extraneous matter includes stems in blueberries, microscopic airborne debris, and dirt on potatoes. Avoidable extraneous material is generally tolerated less than unavoidable material, owing to its avoidability. It is composed of foreign matter that should not be present under proper GMP conditions. Extraneous material that should be avoided comes in a variety of forms, including small glass fragments, plastic pieces, chunks of rubber, jewelry, feather barbules, animal debris, and any other unrelated foreign material. All of these exemplified significant hazards inherent in the food production chain. Other types of hazards are discussed as well, including allergenic, nutritional, and biotechnology-related hazards that may have an effect on the human body.